All right, we're about to get started in a minute. I don't know if this thing works or if it's up. Okay. Yeah, we're about to get started in a second. But I really appreciate you guys coming and paying it, kind of sharing a little time, but we're going to wait a few more minutes for we get started. So this is like my very first time going live in color like this. So on YouTube, rather. So I appreciate it. Shout out to the fam. The Ujumbe fam. What's going on? What's going on? Wait a few more minutes. But yeah, so we're about to kick off. And let me see. Okay, the main question is, why is studying African history important? That's the main question. That's what we're going to talk about, so that's my question. So, I like to pose questions and then we roll from there. So, yeah, a little bit more about me. My name is King Cam. This is Ujumbe podcast, and Ujumbe is Swahili for message. And so I am a teacher. I am a educator. I am love history. I love history. And so sometimes our love for history gets overlooked for other things, for other concepts, for other studies. So I figured that'll if we have more people studying it and more people doing it, we'll be in good shape. I am also a social studies teacher. So this is my profession. I teach for real. I don't just do it as a hobby. I do this pretty much every day. So it's a labor of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. But yeah, so we're waiting on a few more minutes, people to come in, but we're going to get to it. The main thing is concerning history is, why is it important? It starts with you. What is your story? What is the thing that you're trying to convey? What is the message you're trying to convey? Yes, it is true that people tell stories about you, but it's good that you would tell your own, right? And that's why it's important, because for so many years, so many centuries, that our ancestors, their stories have been told by other people, and sometimes the people didn't like them. People didn't like them. People didn't care much about them, so they just said, okay, they just lived here and that was it. No, and to be honest with you, my history is started with my family's history. It started with knowing my grandmother, who she is, and my grandfather, and both sides of the family. So I would go and look at photo albums, ask questions: who are these people, and where they're from, and why did they wear this, and what's their names. We forget that these people had names. And in studying history, it's important to learn and to know their names. Yeah, it's amazing that we just think individuals are just this person was King Tut, and that was it. How did he feel? When you're inquiring about your own history, especially the people around you, how did they feel about this? What was their thought process that got them to this point or to the next point, right? But that's why I study history, because it started with my family history. It started with hearing their stories. My mother's side from Arkansas, my father's side is from East Texas, so it was pretty interesting stories. And so by hearing that and hearing how they overcame and how they adjusted, it gave me a personal appreciation for my history. And so that's the reason why I do it. And so what happened is over time I began to love it. I began to look at African history, not just my family history. That was something that I really enjoyed, but my history as a culture. Where did we come from? And why did we get here? How did we get here? See what I'm saying? So that's the most important thing. That's why we should study it. And of course, you go to school. Of course, you can go to school and go to class and get that information. But you know, unfortunately, in times like even back in the day, in times like any given time, any era, certain parts of history was overlooked or omitted. You know, and so um, that caused us to hyper focus on one side of the story instead of our own and or our own, including being a part of the whole fabric of humanity. And so we feel like the only time we hear ourselves in history is that we came off a ship. That's not how it goes. Okay, and so but the only time you'll be able to figure that out or find out about it is goodness when you go to college, and if you're fortunate enough to go to a institution of higher learning where they actually tell you some stuff. Most of the time when it comes down to our history, so unfortunately we have to um pay for it. We have to go and pay for lecture. We go have to pay for a speaker. You got to wait till they come to town or whatever. This is once again, this is the 90s and early 2000s where YouTube was uh not the thing yet. And so in the end, the libraries, it'd be tucked off, the information be tucked off in an archive somewhere. So we have to do it. We have to do the work, not sound bites, not clickbait. We're talking about doing the work of deep studying. So where I'm from in Texas, we didn't get a lot of people coming this way, especially in Dallas. They would skip Dallas and go to Houston, but they would not. I don't recall a lot of people in the 90s coming through here to discuss African history. So we have to do it ourselves. We have to um, learn it. We have to take it in. And then we have to consider the source. Okay. Um, checking this. So studying African history is crucial for several reasons. Mainly, it provides a comprehensive understanding of global history, revealing the interconnections of human experiences. So we're part of this overall thing. It's not just we are way up here versus everybody else, but our children have to know that uh, where they come from is important too, and what they have done is important also. It's not just a one-sided thing. So um, it also corrects historical biases where it's where where you thought one group of people was the only group of people that was fighting this war, fighting this battle, or protesting or whatever. There were other people there also doing the same thing at the same time. Like the movie Red Tails was amazing. Why? Because a lot of people in this generation did not. They heard about the Tuskegee Airmen and all that, but they really didn't see it live like that, right? So you got to hear it. You got to hear those stories, and it empowers people to hear uh, about Shaka Zulu. Shout out to the fam. Shaka Zulu, to hear about the Queen of Angola, it makes people feel a lot better. It makes people feel stronger and and not in a disrespectful way. And that's the thing. That's um it, it can be dangerous. It really can, because what happens is you if not tempered properly, you have this person's pride and self-worth totally exaggerated, totally inflated, and that's not good either. so, but on the same side, on the same token, you flip the coin, you flip it, and all they hear is the greatness of others, and all they did was just show up. They have a major case of inferiority complex. So that's why we should study it. And somebody asked one time, is it more important to study an era or a person? Like a is it more important to study a period of time or a person? I say both. I say both. Studying an era in African history and examining the life of a significant individual, a king, queen, or even a just a random person uh, allows you to gain valuable insight. But consider the source. Is it a primary source from that place? Primary source. What is that? What is that? Primary source is uh, somebody's speech that they wrote, um, a letter, or hieroglyphic, or something, or the like first-hand information, the person writing about themselves, primary source. The people that live there, primary source, versus somebody talking about the people that live there, the secondary, or somebody's writing a biography of Dr. Martin Luther King, that's secondary. As historians, we try to consider the source, and is it a primary source? Number two, primary source. Okay, what happens is we get a lot of in the a lot of biased information, a lot of racist information um, throughout history and in our studies, and especially when racism was in anthropology and archaeology. It was woven in the fabric of historical study during the 19th century, and in the antebellum South, trying to further solidify the fact that black people should continue to be slaves because that's all they can be, and here's the scientific evidence or whatever. That's not, but that's not how it should go. But the source at that time was very racist and very full of hate and anger. So it's important that individuals go behind that, do the work, ask the questions, ask why this happened, what caused this to happen, and then what was the result of that happening. You know, so studying African history is important, and we should look at both time, major eras, and individuals, um, illustrating how individuals navigated and influenced their societies within a specific context. So yeah, yeah. If you have a person that you want to study that person. If you have a time period, a golden age, I'll be talking about that in Basil Davidson's book. Where's the book? The Lost Cities. Matter of fact, The Lost Cities of Africa by Basil Davidson. He mentions in here, which I'm going to discuss, about a period, um, a time frame, what is it? A period of greatness. What do you mean a period? Okay, um, it's not just one, right? It's several. So, um, and I will be talking more about that in the coming week or so. So, but it's not just one moment in time. So it's but it I think it heightens people's fascination and imagination by looking and hearing their stories, and especially if you can hear some of the songs they sung, that's pretty cool. If you can hear some of the songs they sung, that into or some of the music they play, even in class. When I'm teaching class, I teach economics and government. I teach high school seniors, and even while they're doing their work, even though they're doing the work and stressing out over it, I'm playing music from West Africa. I'm playing the music, kora, soft kora music playing in the background or something like that, because that kind of it relaxes them, but it also connects them to the culture, to the heritage. So, music is important too, y'all. So that's good. So, but somebody says, okay, it's like it's like you're trying to swallow the ocean. Where do you begin? Like in the Wizard of Oz, I think they said, it's always good to start at the beginning, right? Where do you begin? You can start if they have, especially if you're in school, if you're in high school and college, enroll in the African history course. Okay, I know nowadays the college board have added African American history into their into the curriculum, but some schools still don't offer it. So if as far as an AP exam, AP course, but if they have it as a class, get down, you take it. You take the class and you enjoy it, you embrace it. I know in my school, I don't teach it. One of my teachers, his name is Mr. Rogers. He's an excellent. Shout out, who's this? Somebody just popped in. Shout out to him. I really appreciate you. Um, Mr. Rogers, he is a excellent African American history scholar. He gets down. He is, I really appreciate him for doing that. And he takes them from pre-dynastic period all the way up until current era. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mo. What's going on? But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, so Mr. Rogers he's an excellent teacher. I really admire the work he does. So and so I let him do it. And so the thing is, if you're able to get in on it, if you're able to do it in college or in high school, do it. Okay, it's always good to start. I was fortunate enough because I was a history major at Paul Quinn College, little old Paul Quinn College. I had to take a lot of history classes, and one of them was African history. Okay, and this was one of the books. History of Africa. Yeah, this by Kevin Shillington. Yeah, I still got it. Yeah, I still use it. And I am a Amazon affiliate, so I earn for qualifying purchases. But this is a good book. So you see, I had to get it used. I couldn't buy it new, so but I keep my book. So, but yeah, go to the school, ask the questions. There may be history clubs, and in that class, in Miss Matthews' class at Little Old Paul Quinn College, I heard about Egypt. I heard about Kemet, but I knew nothing about Sudan. I knew nothing about Nubia. My mind was blown. I did not know that there was more pyramids in Sudan than there are in Egypt. So that further pushed what I wanted to know. That pushed me into it and further into studying African history. So it's good to start at school where there's people that are good instructors. Yeah. 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 The brother saying, yeah, we never hear anything about it. No, we don't. See now, see. Now we can have this conversation. See, what happens is they would carve out Egypt from Africa. It's like carving out, say, Colorado from the United States. It is part of the United States, but it's wordplay. They will say something like Egypt is part of the Middle East. So mentally, psychologically, you think it is not part of Africa, but it is. But a lot of people don't understand that that culture, it came from the South. It just didn't come from the North. It came from Ethiopia to Sudan, to Nubia, then to Kemet, because the pre-dynastic kings came from the South. Yeah, and plus the reason why I don't talk about it, because it's not star tested, number one, and number two, AP has kind of glossed over like quite a few centuries. I think they start now with the 1000s AD. They don't even deal with ancient history because they don't want to deal with the fact that there's eons of African history that needs to be uh, discussed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's man, there's a lot of things that we need to know, but it starts somewhere, right? And so, but I appreciate it. And so, it's good to start at school, in college, um, wherever you can, and then somebody said, what are some good authors? Because I said consider the source. What are some good authors? Of course, Dr. Ben is great. I have some books, and but I don't want to just go into the deep end with all the books and stuff. But let me see if I can, like, some basic ones, right? Um, I'll get that in a minute. But of course, Dr. Ben's work, Dr. Ben, Yosef Yakin, and Dr. John Henry Clark is good. Dr. Sheikh Enta Diop, he's they are amazing in that they scientifically broke down African history. Sheikh Enta Diop, he was a scientist. He dealt with the genetics of the African people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That cat, Hawass, he does not want us to know our real history. Yeah, he kicked people out of Egypt after time for trying to prove African history, and he did, and then he also had a hand in their education system, which kind of perpetuates whatever rhetoric they want to put out. And Check Enter Diop actually had a debate, and it was a well-renowned debate. I think in the 70s. I don't know what date it was, but he whooped everybody. He proved his case. But if you know how it goes, it falls to deaf ears. So yeah, it I but now there's guys now that are coming up that are doing the work further south, and they're going down to Nubia, to the Aswan area, that border where Abu Simbel is, and so that's where the Aswan people, the Nubian people are, and they're still getting the information. They're still, yeah, you may be up there in the north, but and then on top of that, if we think about Kemetic culture, the seat of power was not in Memphis; it was in Thebes. You see what I'm saying? It was in Waset. It was not in Men Nefer. It was in Waset. It was down in the south, closer to Nubia. It was not up north, close to the Delta. So, you know, um, and always, most of the time when we go to a family function, most of the time we go to mom and them house first. So, and that's what it is. The king. Matter of fact, not only in Egypt, but say uh, most most kings, their right to the throne came from their mother and not their father. So same thing with Kemet, that it was African. But yeah, so Dr. Ben is good. Check Into Job is good. John Henry Clark, Basil Davidson. Oh, let me see. One more person. Anthony Browder. He's really good. He's really good. So these guys are excellent in their craft. We need more. Um, we need more authors that are thinkers, not just talking heads, but people that do the studying, that do the work of African history and do it well. Not just to say that black man is very superior and all that. Just give me the information. Just give me the information. So so what I can do is teach it, because now, yes, we have people doing 2 or 3 hour lectures and all this kind of thing and talking forever. But how can we get that information, break it down, and put it in the classrooms? And that's another reason why I'm here, because I get that information, try to make it into bite-sized chunks, and people can take it home. But this is why we should study African history. Most importantly, yes, to know it for yourself and know it, and to enjoy it, but also know enough to share with somebody else. All right. But before we go, because I don't like holding people too long, are there any questions or any other questions that you got for Missy? Oh, hold on. So it was the same when King Solomon had a child with Sheba. Yeah, that is that is another long story. So yes. But the in Ethiopian tradition, which I really love and appreciate, according to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, that Solomon line came that way. And it's a lot of information on it. And but yeah, Solomon and Sheba down south, Sheba, Solomon went back up to Israel to stay. Sheba went back to where she was at in Ethiopia. And we got to understand, conversely, Ethiopia wasn't just that one state. It was a region. And so she had all of that area, a lot of land in that area, not just in the African side, but Yemen also. So she had a lot of power. She had it. And so, of course, that the Solomon line, according to tradition, went all the way up to Haile Selassie. And, of course, the rest is history. But Ethiopia, shout out to the family Ethiopia, they maintained their sovereignty for a very long time. And when military might advance, when things advance, they advance too. But they dug in and maintained their sovereignty. And yeah, Sheba was queen. Yeah, she played no games. Who else is in? Let me see. I really appreciate you guys coming in. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button. But I really appreciate you guys. This is my very first time doing this. So normally I would record this and I would hit the post button or whatever. So this is my first live on YouTube. But I've done social media for a while, but this is my first time. So, but this is the evening time. We're at the house chilling. Yeah, I love to learn. I love to learn too. I guess that's another reason why I love teaching, because even though I'm teaching the same content, I'm teaching the same content, I'm learning something, I'm reading something. And because I've been in education, I've been blessed enough to where now I can impart information to other teachers. So now I'm a mentor teacher also. So you learn something new every day. And if you find yourself at the school and the same thing is happening every day, you're in the twilight zone. I can have the same group of students, and they're totally different. And so That's what I appreciate about. That's one thing I every day is different, and it's great to do. And so it's a joy. It's a joy. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy history, and I enjoy learning. And would I do anything else? Probably. I don't know. Do we know anything about God speaking to any other kings besides Solomon? Mm, do we know? Um, Old Testament wise, I think other than Solomon, maybe David, because David had the aspiration to build the temple and everything, and and then he couldn't because there was blood on his hands, that kind of thing. But for the most part, it was through the prophets. That's according to my understanding of the Old Testament. But I'm not a deep theologian. I'm not a you know like the kings in Egypt. Mm, that's a good question. I'm gonna say, let me get back to you on that because there are, yeah, yeah, yeah. There are times when, say, like Akhenaten, you know, he of course the European tradition would say he was the first to coin the concept of monotheism as far as one God, but he had to get that from somewhere. And so, um, yeah, yeah. But as far as like the Western tradition, as far as the Western concept of it, um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I can't say, yeah, it happened on this day and this time. Uh yeah, I can't do that, right? This time say, I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate it, but that's the part of learning. Because one day we find out. But as soon as you find out, don't be the one to hold the information and not share it with anybody, right? Share it with other people, right? Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. That one got me. So I really, yeah. But I appreciate you guys coming. I'm about to wrap it up because I like sleep because I have, even though I am done today, I still have a weekend ahead of me, and I have great things to do. But yeah, this has been a journey. I do enjoy and somebody asked me, why do I do this? Why have a podcast or anything? It was out of necessity because at one time, um, I realized that our story was not being told. So I said, let me put it into a podcast. So it's been a journey. It's been I'm enjoying it. And this summer, we will have a few more. I'm interviewing some people this summer, so it's going to be great. Some more scholars, some more historians. This this is going to be interesting. And so a couple of more. Be almost done with the book. So over the summer, summer school. We're going to do individual um, topics. They'll be just standalone topics, and then that'll be it. But and don't forget to like, comment, and all the things. But I really appreciate you guys coming, and maybe one day we'll talk more about some of the books I have back here. I think I did it before, but I got some more books I haven't added to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shoot, the more the merrier. Um, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I definitely, he said I would definitely get more people to join. And peace, yeah, peace with you also, bro. It's I'm enjoying this. I learn something new every day, and hopefully one day I'll be able to share more often, to where I'm able to do it live. I like physically. My aspiration is eventually do a like a live session, like live, like I am in like a classroom with the Ujumbe fam, some of the fam coming out to actually really participate, to like I do at school, but it'll be for us. So, but that's really it. If there are no other questions, I will talk to you guys later because my stomach is eating my back. I am hungry. I ate a little bit because I ate with the queen a little bit before we kicked off, but yeah, but I'm gonna finish. But I really appreciate you guys for coming, and I will talk to you later.